Robert, great to have you with us here in the studio. What a range of business leaders we've had on the money here today. Always worth waiting for, this show. It seems like a really obvious idea, doesn't it? Just completely do away with any physical offices and all the costs. Yeah. But don't you lose something?
No, I don't think we do. I mean, we set up in 2014 with the idea of creating a new type of law firm, which was much more commercial, aimed really at smaller businesses at that point in time. And we did that really after the government changed the law in the 2007 Legal Services Act, which really destroyed, to some degree, the legal profession in the UK and only allowed for 6 areas of law to be dominated really by the solicitors and barristers in the UK. And they predominantly are litigation, audience at court, and really a small area of commercial property. So only 6 matters in all. So we set up a law firm that was run really by consultant labour or consultant lawyers. We said every one of those is going to be in excess of 5 years qualified.
Yeah. So they're experienced lawyers.
They're very, they're in the average now on the firm, which is now in 73 countries worldwide, 35 of the US is, about 400 lawyers now, and most of them are between 10 and 15 years qualified. So highly experienced lawyers, specialists in the areas that they actually work in. We do have an office. We have one in Washington, D.C., and we have one in Camberley in the UK, but they're very small and they run the back office, so finance and stuff.
Yeah, servers and things like that, of course.
Well, that's all cloud now. So.
Yeah, of course. I tell you what I'm worried. I mean, look, it's a great business model, and I guess I should give you the opportunity to say that you believe this allows you to deliver high-quality services at a lower cost.
Perfect.
OK.
Yes. And it does. I mean, the answer is we use high-quality labour that's coming in, or solicitors and barristers and overseas attorneys, as I said to you, are all in excess of 5 years PQE. Anyway, so highly experienced people in their specialist areas of law. Yeah. So we don't use juniors to provide the service. We don't use trainees or anyone of that ilk. We just use those experienced lawyers. And what we do is we take the workload in from the clients, and we actually farm that out to the lawyers that are specialists in that area within their jurisdiction, within their area of law, and subject to them having the capacity.
And they can still talk to the client, right? They can get on Zoom, they can get on the phone, they can have a physical meeting at a neutral venue. And, of course, you don't have these heating bills, you don't have these business rate costs and all the rest of it. Here's my look, obviously, if you're in the manufacturing game, if you present television programmes for a living, you're going to have to come to work. A lot of us are going to have to carry on coming to work. But the sort of the laptop classes, if you like, legal, financial professionals, they will work from home more and more. But I tell you my concern. My concern is about the next generation, because so much of what you learn about work, you learn it not when you're on those Zoom calls, not when you're, the meter's running and you're having a formal discussion. You learn it when you're at the coffee machine. You learn it when you pop out with a senior colleague for a sandwich. You learn it when you go for a drink after work. All those soft skills, all those finer points. Isn't there a danger? Now, fair play to you. You're running a big business. Chapeau. You pay your tax and you employ lots of people. Fabulous. But isn't there a danger if everyone goes virtual, we lose a lot of the kind of intellectual fibre of this country?
Yeah, I think to some degree you're right. I mean, we utilise highly skilled, qualified lawyers, as I say, very I've been long experience now. So we tend to sort of live off of those people that have already trained those lawyers. So that's, if we're not looking to bring in new talent into the market, which is probably a failing of our model. There's no doubts about that.
Because if everyone did what you did, we wouldn't have any new talent, with respect.
You're absolutely right. You're totally right. I mean, to that degree, we are not contributing to it. What we would do, if that became a problem, was we would start training those individuals and we would start bringing them into the model. So yeah, we're doing that. So yeah, you're right. The fault in the model to a degree is that we're not actually training new talent to come into the market. But what we are doing is picking up highly qualified individuals to provide the services to those at much more discounted rates. So our UK hourly rate's $162.75 an hour for a 10 to 15 years qualified lawyer in a specialist area of law.
Which is, it's a huge amount of money, but it is pretty cheap and cheerful. Yeah, albeit with a very high quality person, because you haven't got those overheads. Look, you're a very clever bloke. You're a barrister, years and years of training. You're obviously a very entrepreneurial person as well, a risk taker, if I may say so. And that I say that as a compliment. Where's this going? What is? Lockdown's changed us so much, hasn't it? The future of the workplace is never going to be the same again, is it?
No, it's not. And I think, we was growing and we chose this model, as I say, to get into the government's view of lowering the cost of legal services to individuals and to businesses. So that's how we started to get in. But when COVID came along, it really did start to turn around and say that the model of running from home really did start to work. And we saw our client base go from being those upper middle tier sort of companies in the UK to being everyone from sort of like SMEs right the way through to some of the largest.
Because they could access your services.
Yeah, and everyone was doing it.
And that's the plus side of what you're doing.
Yeah, but everyone was doing it. So most law firms were actually still running from home. I mean, we brought in an application called vSign, which allowed people to sign documents online in a videoed environment, which would never been done before lockdown. So I think COVID accelerated our model. And just showed that law could be provided very efficiently, from home, and many people are now doing that. Many law firms are actually following that model by using consultants and working from home.